You might not have noticed us gone because this is just the next video, but it has been pretty much an entire week that Pivot has been here in Kent Narrows.
Yeah, we had a wedding to attend in Knoxville, Tennessee, so we left Pivot here on the dock while we went away for a few days, and then when we came back we had scorching hot heats. It
was in the mid-90s for 2 days.
We had a heat wave, so we decided to stay on the dock a little bit longer, use the shore power so we could enjoy some AC and get some work done, but the days leading up to leaving were just crazy.
Yeah, we had to go get the rental car, which I had to run to go get. We had a ton of packages delivered here at the marina, aka also our new microphone.
Yes, hope you can notice.
And then also we just did a whole bunch of errands, so it wasn't really a vacation. We were doing a lot of work off camera, and
there was 6 loads of laundry done, tons of cleaning, just a ton of stuff done.
And now today we are heading up the bay. Today might be the last day in the Chesapeake Bay. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad.
Let's get going.
We're Jen, Elliot, and Ollie. In 2019, we booked a one-way flight to Colombia, and after traveling to 11 countries, we were locked down in India for 5 months. Coming back to the US, we decided to pivot into boat life and cruise on a 6,000-mile journey called America's Great Loop. Make sure to subscribe as we share the highs, lows, and everything in between.
Kent Narrows Bridge. This is northbound motor vessel Pivot, over.
9:30.
Was extremely not good. The current is pushing us into the dock, or was pushing us into the dock, which is always hard to leave whenever that happens. And then like the current rips through this area, it's like 2 or 3 knots, but it's kind of deceptive when you're at the dock. But yeah, we like came really close to hitting that Ocean Alexander like right in front of us, because it was just, I mean, it was fine. We didn't hit anything, but it was very stressful. I mean, I think Jen said she could touch the anchor on their boat. Everything's fine. We didn't hit anything. It was a very stressful way to start the day. And you have no clue what's going on, do you? Ignorance is bliss. But you can just see, like, look, we're literally moving backwards. At what, 0.66 building up speed in this current, like always docking into the current, but when you leave the dock sometimes you don't get the choice. So anyway, if you have any tips for leaving docks when current is pushing you into the dock and into a boat in front of you, let us know. I was gonna try some sort of like basically leaving the stern line on and then putting the boat in gear, so that way the boat kind of kicks out with the stern line attached, and then releasing the stern line once we're kind of out, you know, basically perpendicular to the dock. But we didn't try that. Jen wasn't comfortable with that, so that may be something to try. I don't know. Roger that, on the way. Thank you.
Safe harbor, switching back to Channel 9.
That was the scariest docking or leaving the dock experience, probably since our very first docking experience. outside of our home base marina. Basically, our bow thruster stopped working, and that was just so scary, like just because there's so much current in the Kent Narrows area. Holy cow. I mean, just between like, we were trying to get off, I was trying to push the midship off, Elliot was just trying to lay on the bow thruster, but the bow thruster turned off.
Well, but it was like sounded like it was running.
Yeah, but it kept sounding like it was going. But then whenever I look at it, like went to the bow, after we kind of like made it past the dock, we slammed into the dock like twice. And then after all this happened, like I go up to the bow and I'm like, I don't see water moving on any side, which normally when you lay on the bow thruster, you can see it. We're still like contemplating, is it a mechanical issue or is it an electrical issue? Because we kept hearing the bow thruster, like you could hear the motor going. But what was weird was that up here at the helm station, Elliot could see that the light on the bow thruster was off, so it would like turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off.
Controls like this. That's off. That's on. Off.
Yeah, so that was very scary. Yeah.
You can say that we should have known how to dock the boat without using the bow thruster, but when the bow thruster sounds like it's going and you expect it to be going and then it's not going, like in the moment, you know, it's a lot different situation. Like if we knew before we even left the dock that the bow thruster wasn't working, because then we would have had a totally different strategy. And yeah, it just kind of sucked. Just kind of sucked.
It's a very scary situation when you don't feel like you have control over the boat, and that's exactly what it felt like.
So, two very not good docking experiences in the same morning in Kent Narrows. Not a great way to start the day. We are cruising up the bay today to Chesapeake City to prep for Cape May and the C&D Canal. But man, it's just, and you know, the hard thing too is we've been off the boat for, well, we've been on the boat, but we haven't cruised for a week. So we're kind of out of practice a little bit, but just with the current and then the bow thruster failing, and then the first one we just had a bad strategy, which was my fault because Jennifer said she thought we should move the boat back, and I said I thought it would be fine. And it was just way too close for comfort.
If you can touch the other boat's anchor, it is way too close.
So we have low winds today, a lot of fog, thunderstorms coming later. So not the most beautiful cruise, but with the no wind, it should be nice and easy. We have many more miles to go today. I think it's like a 45-mile day. But look how beautiful the water is. It's incredible. We need this. Nice, smooth, easy cruising. Let's make up for the stressful stuff, the exciting stuff this morning.
Today is a gorgeous day to be cruising through the Chesapeake. It is so calm. Now, we are in the most like northern part of the Chesapeake, and so it's a lot more narrow, which means that we don't get as much of like the fetch and the wind and all of the stuff that like makes it a bit harder of a cruising grounds. So we're really enjoying it up here. You can tell like the environment up here is much different than the environment at the southern end of the Chesapeake Bay, which is kind of cool to like be able to think about in this comparison between the two. But here it's a lot more like hilly, with a lot more trees and shrubbery kind of climbing up the hills. And as we are cruising at like a snail's pace. We're going about 5 knots right now. And that's because we have the current going against us, which is not ideal. but the current was going to be against us practically the entire day, so there was nothing we could really do to like get away from it. But we're just taking it for what it is today. We are coming up to the C&D Canal, so right now we're going to start monitoring 16 and 13 on dual watch. So that way we have both 13 and 16, we're listening to it, because 13 is how boats call each other. It's bridge to bridge, but it's not bridge as in like a bridge that cars go over and you go under. It's bridge like a helm bridge, right? It's like a helm bridge to another helm bridge, so essentially like boat to boat. And this will allow us to hear other barges or other large ships, vessels communicating with each other, or just putting out just general like be aware, be cautious kind of signals. So 13 it is for the rest of the day.
It's insane to me how we've pretty much gotten through the Chesapeake Bay. Like last year we got stuck here, broke my wrist. Now we're coming into Chesapeake City. We have about 2 hours left of our cruise today, and we're kind of coming into a very narrow section. It's not as wide. It's not the, you know, maybe we are still in the bay technically, but it's a lot narrower like a normal river. It's just crazy. And it's been beautiful, but it's not beautiful for long. We have a bunch of thunderstorms coming. The Coast Guard said there was a storm coming through Annapolis with 50 knots of wind, gusts. So they said, you know, small craft advisory. You could be thrown off your boat. And so obviously we're a lot more north in Annapolis, but it's kind of following us. So we don't have radar on Pivot, but we do have the My Radar app. You know, it works. And so we're kind of using that to watch it to see if it's going to hit us before we get to Chesapeake City. And right now it is, barely. So I hope it's not too bad.
You know why? Is it the truth that you believe in tonight? We should take a walk then a swim in the sea. That will mean everything, yeah, everything to me. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought you would leave.
And to preemptively head inside before we get dumped on.
A tunnel of feelings, and just like we got through everything else. But I see you, honey. This is in no way funny. We will find our way back together. But right now, there's stormy weather. I see a tear begins to fall from your eyes. It is the truth that you believe.
We're entering
The C&D Canal! Woo! Wow.
It kind of feels surreal to be this far north. It does not feel like we're here, but we are.
Yeah, it's not quite set in, for sure. For
No.
me.
It's kind of wild. It's so cool. The geography and the terrain is just like totally different on the northern Chesapeake side than it is on the southern Chesapeake side. And yeah, this is just, it's kind of wild. And the green is different. The colors are different. I mean, even just like the color of the water changed significantly from this morning to this afternoon. So it's really nice being in some new territory and being able to see some like new spots.
I will be there with you even when you are alone. And I'll be waiting here when you come home. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought you would leave me here. We can get out of this one. A tunnel of fear.
rain is officially here. We have a barge coming behind us and about 3 nautical miles to go.
Honey, this is in no way funny. We will find our way back together. But right now, there's stormy weather. Can we get out of this one? Waiting man, missing. I'm never.
They're coming through the C&D Canal right now. I'm just picturing what this is going to look like at nighttime, because stay tuned for our next vlog, or maybe even our next one. We are going to be transiting the canal at 3:30 in the morning. So trying to time the Delaware Bay. So it's going to be an experience. There's always room for one more boat. But I don't know if you guys heard that. Thunder Lightning is here, almost here. So we are going to go run, say hi to a looper couple that flagged us down as we were coming in. So that they watch our videos, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna meet them for a minute and then go take Ollie out, come right back so we don't get stuck in the thunderstorms. And we're bringing the GoPro. Ollie, I hope you know we love you very much. It was really nice meeting you guys, Bill and Margie. And it'll be fun hanging out on the loop this year with you. They started in St. Pete and they made it here. They left in April. And they're doing a 2-year trek. So they're leaving the boat just south of Canada. And to Ottawa this year, and Erie and the rest of it next year.
Excellent. Yeah, I think we need to go over there. We're a little close, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Hello.
Oh my god. I mean, there's nothing we can do. We can just keep an eye on everything. If we're not moving in this, there's nowhere to go.
Right now we are watching, there's a catamaran that's like feet from us. It's probably more our mistake than their mistake because we were the second person to anchor. They were here first. But we've let out so much scope that we really can't move from where we're at. Yeah. And I put out all the fenders on that side, so when we do bump, which will happen, which could happen soon, at least we'll have protection.
Well, if it's our fault, it's only because we came in second, but it's a tight anchorage. You're not supposed to have that much scope out, and we, you know, did not have that much scope. Here, I gotta go focus. I'll give you the update afterwards. Well, sun's out now. Oh man. So basically, it's a very tight anchorage here in Chesapeake City. And normally in a tight anchorage that's pretty decently protected, you put out very low scope. Like we set basically 3 to 1. We had like 40 or 50 feet out, and it was about 10 feet of depth. It's like 4 to 1. We had 4 to 1 out here, and we backed down on it on the direction of the other boats. So that way, when we swing that way, we're not going to hit them. the expectation is that everybody has a similar amount of scope out, so when they swing your way, they're not going to hit you too. But of course, you don't know. It's not something you can know unless you talk to them about it. So we went to go say hi to Bill and Margie, and then on the way back, we were about to let Ollie out, and the catamaran that was in front of us basically was almost hitting us. Like, they had to go into gear.
3 feet from us.
They were literally 3 feet from us. They had to go into gear so they didn't hit us. And we calculated it, like they had to have had over 80 feet out, because we were probably a pivot and a half from them, so that's 50 feet. And then they, you know, were about in line with us when they flipped around, so another 30 feet. So, you know, and that was if their anchor was there, you know, like where their boat was. Anyway, it's just like crazy, like it's just crazy. And so anyway, the whole time, like, you know, there's a saying that I always think about. It's like, nothing happens fast on a boat, and there's no reason to make a bad situation worse. So while the storm was coming through, you know, I knew we needed to leave, but it was not the time to leave. So we kind of just stayed there. We let out a whole bunch of scope, so that way, like, when they swung back, they wouldn't hit us. So we let out another 40 feet, but that was not like something we could just leave the boat as, because flipping around the other way, we probably would have hit some other boat. So thankfully, like Bill and Margie, when we were first coming in, they said, "You guys want to raft to us? You're welcome to," because it's tight and there's like quite a few boats in the anchorage already. It's pretty full. But we're like, no, you know, I think there's room for us. And if everybody was using proper scope, like, it would have been fine. But anyway, we don't really have a lot of options right now. Like, we were considering, do we just do the whole C&D right now, because it's another 2 hours. We have the current, but then we're exiting the canal at dark, and we heard it's kind of tricky, so we didn't want to do that. And then the free dock is full, so we can't go there. And there's like the dock can fit basically like 2 or 3 boats. I think it's like 110 feet, and one boat on there is currently broke down, so like they've been there for a while, so it's just not a lot of room. So we came here. We're right next to Bill and Margie's boat. They're on Crustacean, which is the Grand Banks, but we're exhausted. Like 2 rough docking situations. The bow thruster was working tonight, so that was good. So I think it's fine. I think it was just like a blip. Yeah, I think I know what it was, but yeah. Now that it's sunny, I'm gonna finish taking Ollie out. Are you okay? Was it a very stressful time? Do you wanna go for a walk? You wanna go to shore?
That's what I thought was happening earlier.
Do you wanna go for a dinghy ride?
We have easy meals, and tonight would be a perfect time for those easy meals. We have like a homemade spaghetti sauce. It's super quick, and meatless meatballs, and some pasta. Because we're exhausted.
And that's it for us today, folks. It is 11:46. We had a fantastic time hanging out with Bill and Margie, and tomorrow I think we're going to stay in Chesapeake City, give you guys a tour. We have an awesome museum here, and then take it from there. We're watching the weather like a hawk, because we have the Delaware Bay as our next big cruise, which is exciting. It's a big body of water, a lot of current, a lot of fetch, a lot of swell, and we're trying to find a nice weather window. So stay tuned for that as we figure it out and share it with y'all. Thanks for watching, and see you guys as we continue heading north on America's Great Loop.
Sorry, I need to be going more that way.
When we we are going to be transiting